Welcome back to Crypto Atlas, your daily source for crypto whale alerts, crypto market news, and DeFi gems. All right, let's start with the big one that hit the feed and had everyone double checking their notifications. Whale Alert came in hot with this. This is 59.6 million XRP. That's $127 million moving from an unknown wallet to another unknown wallet. And these wallets are straight up ghosts. The sender starts with DA35, the receiver starts with RN1Y, and that's pretty much all we know. Whenever we see massive transfers between two unidentified wallets, especially in amounts this clean, 59.6 million on the dot, it usually means someone is repositioning for something, either gearing up to deploy, breaking up holdings, or consolidating for a later move. And the timing, middle of the day, not even at an off hours window, that's confidence. But then literally the next day, we get a monster alert. This is whale alert again, this time showing 250 million XRP, over $504 million, $500 million. That's sent from Ripple itself to an unknown wallet. Sender is Ripple's treasury, receiver starts with RJQI, and that's $500 million flowing out. Anytime Ripple moves amounts like this, people start speculating. Is it for liquidity? Is it for institutional onboarding? Are they preparing rails for new corridors? We don't know yet. But you don't move $500 million casually. That's the type of transfer that usually precedes something structural. And I'll be talking more about the crypto news in just a moment. Just want to let you guys know I have a referral link for the crypto exchange BTCC down in the description below. And it has been around for 13 years, over 300 crypto futures, and up to 500x leverage. Plus, there's sign up bonuses. If you guys want to stay updated on the latest that's going on with these whale alerts, also, you can join my Telegram group. I do have a link down in the description below. Okay, so here's the wild part though. Right after the transfer, Ripple posts about stablecoins. I mean, literally the same day, they're out here saying stablecoins like RLUSD are driving a global transformation in finance. They're pushing efficient, programmable, 24/7 messaging, which heavily implies the infrastructure they're building is meant for big players who need automation, settlement, and liquidity. So when $500 million XRP moves at the same time the company is hyping institutional stablecoin rails, yeah, people notice. And speaking of institutions, you also have Whale Insider, who dropped another gem. ETF clients purchased $12.84 million worth of XRP, bringing total ETF held net assets to $881.25 million. Guys, that's almost $1 billion sitting in ETFs alone. That is not retail money. That is not hype money. That is long-term, slow, steady, we're building positions quietly type money. Combine that with Ripple's giant transfers and you can kind of see the shape of a quiet accumulation phase forming behind the scenes. Now let's go ahead and shift over to one of the biggest stories of the week, Bitnomial. Eleanor Terrett came in with a y'all heard it here first, and honestly, she's right. Bitnomial just launched the first CFTC-regulated spot crypto exchange in the United States. This is a big deal because spot crypto in the US has basically lived in this weird gray zone for years. Now we finally have a fully regulated path forward, and they're not just doing spot, they're offering leveraged spot, perpetuals, futures, options, the whole stack on a federally regulated platform. That's the kind of infrastructure institutional players actually need. And guess who's tied into this? Ripple, of course. And then you also have Ledgerman, who dropped a really interesting update. Ripple led a $25 million funding round for Bitnomial, and as part of that, Brad Garlinghouse is joining their board of directors. That alone tells you Ripple is aligning itself with major U.S. financial infrastructure, but Ledgerman also hinted that XRP and RLUSD are poised to play a key role. If Bitnomial is building a U.S. regulated futures ecosystem, and Ripple is supplying the stablecoin plus the liquidity engine, yeah, that's a serious alignment. And this is what people have been waiting for years. The moment where crypto companies stop trying to operate like startups and start looking like actual pieces of the financial system. And speaking of that, we also have G Treasury, who just dropped a massive announcement. They're officially part of Ripple now. G Treasury has been around for 40 years, helping companies manage liquidity, complexity, and high volume transactions. Now they're plugging those capabilities into Ripple's digital asset infrastructure. That means Treasury teams around the world can access real time settlement with institutional grade tooling, but in the crypto era. Ripple followed up with the bigger picture: four major acquisitions: G Treasury. You also have Rail, Palisade, and Ripple Prime, all merging into one unified platform. Custody, liquidity, treasury, payments, real time settlement, all under one roof. They literally said they're building the infrastructure that powers the Internet of Value. And honestly, it's starting to look exactly like that. But the key takeaway today: the whales are active. Ripple is moving huge amounts, institutions are buying, regulated markets are opening, and the companies behind XRP are stacking acquisitions like they're preparing for something much larger than price action. So keep your eyes open. Pieces are moving, they're moving fast. And take a look over here at the price movement for XRP on the day. We can actually see several things. Let's go ahead and start breaking this down. First off, XRP is already now on a third red candle currently. So it closed out 2 red days. And you guys can also see that on the Fibonacci retracement, we're sitting right about in the middle zone. So if we wanted to go all the way back up, we would have to retest around $2.26. Right now, it's heading in the direction towards $1.83. But after having 2 days of candle closure, we might start to see some green. We did have several days, quite a few days here, of red candles going back on November 11th. And that was just before the ETFs dropped. So this blue line at $2.46, that is when the XRP spot ETFs officially launched in the United States. So just leading up to that, you can see there's a little bit of a drop. Then the actual day it dropped. And then just overall, we had 3, 6, 7 days, a full week, day over day of just constant drops. But XRP was not the only crypto that's been seeing pullback lately. Of course, we've seen other major blue chip cryptos taking major hits as well. So if this manages to break above $2.26, the next major zone of retest, I would actually say, is here at the ETF level at $2.46. Just knowing that people that decided to start jumping in on the ETFs, if it's actually in like a positive type zone there, I think the sentiment overall would be quite bullish. And then just zooming out a tad bit, you guys can also see that there was that major drop that took place October 10th. But trying to get back above that Fibonacci zone of $2.87, you have to go back to October 8th, essentially. So it did drop down here on October 7th. It briefly recovered, but closed out on the day essentially on that line. So the Fibonacci zone is holding up as far as showing these key technical trading indicator positions, especially when we go back here to around the timeline of June 1st to July 8th. So you're seeing that there's a lot that's been trying to break above that. This zone has definitely been a challenge. So if it can manage to break above that, you guys see that volatility has happened numerous times, especially spiking all the way up to around $2.86. So realistically, right now, it's forming this sideways channel. If it can manage to break above, then yeah, seeing if it can actually manage to get past this zone. As you guys can see here, the drop that took place around early part of October was a downward spiral. As far as any potential recovery, we did see an attempt made back on November 6th, but it got to about halfway and then pulled itself back. So these zones are very important. And right now, sitting at halfway at this other level, we'll see how things play out. That's what I got for you guys. Don't forget to hit subscribe. And also thank you to my Patreon supporters and my YouTube members. God bless, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.